Coming up on AgweekTV, new irrigation technology could help farmers get much-needed water to every part of their fields. An innovative program gets students ready to enter the world of working on diesel engines.
Continuing the AgWeek Cereals crop tour, we'll visit a wheat field near Northwood, North Dakota.
And kids are having fun in the sun while learning about farming. Welcome to AgweekTV. I'm Emily Beal. Irrigation can be vitally important to the success of crops, especially in dry summers like this one. One problem is that there are limitations to how much of a field is covered. But as Jeff Beach shows you in this week's AgWeek cover story, there's new irrigation equipment that eliminates the need to cut corners.
There's 8 rows there, and then 2 rows over here and 2 rows over there to get our 12 rows in the middle.
The Yield 360 Rain is a new style of irrigation, an autonomous machine that doesn't use pivots. It slowly creeps through a field like a tank, spraying water and fertilizer directly on rows.
And then there's 6 rows over here and 6 rows over there that water going the other direction.
Jay Myers is a Yield 360 dealer with his business, AgroValley Solutions, near Colfax, North Dakota. The machine is now in use at a few farms around the country, including this land farmed by Myers' son in southeast North Dakota. The Rain solves some of the common problems of traditional irrigation systems.
Go just about anywhere in the field, and it can do the headlands, and we can pick a path and put more water on one area. They're improving the app too, so in the future we'll probably be able to do a map with variable rate.
The machine is attached to a well using a reel with 3,000 feet of 3-inch hose.
And it's laying hose down as it moves along, and then it backs up down the same path and then picks the hose back up. And when it gets to the center of the field, that's kind of the backbone where it does its turning, then it turns and goes down the next set of rows.
There is a base station at the field with a GPS signal, creating a map at planting for the rain to use later in the season. A farmer can control the rain by phone. Meyer says he expects the mapping and technology to only get better.
Going to be a pretty awesome machine here when it's all perfected.
Myers expects the Yield 360 Rain to sell for about $200,000 next year. Near Colfax, North Dakota, this is Jeff Beach for AgWeek.
Yield 360 and AgroValley Solutions are planning a field day on August 10th to show the rain up close. You can read more in the next AgWeek magazine or at agweek.com. The Farm Bill, South Dakota trade, commodity markets, and the beef and dairy industries were hot topics at the South Dakota Governor's Agriculture Summit in Watertown. This conference brings people from all aspects of the industry together in one place.
Agriculture by far is our largest industry in South Dakota. When we're all working together, we're unstoppable. It's when we're fractionated in a state that's becoming more urban that we get into problems. So we all need to work together to do the best we can for our state and to feed the world.
One of the speakers at the conference was Luke Lindberg, who talked about the state's new international trade office and the opportunities available for agricultural exports to new markets worldwide, as well as navigating export challenges such as the war in Ukraine.
So we're here to help them navigate these things. Transportation continues to be an issue. We have a lack of access to rail in South Dakota that we're trying proactively to find new solutions for rail access. So there's a number of different areas where I think non-tariff barriers, another example of areas where we need to continue to find those friendly markets where we can ship our products and diversify against and away from other markets where maybe they're not so friendly.
On the second day of the event, attendees were also able to learn more about the Lake Area Technical College's agricultural programs and facilities, as well as learn about the dairy industry through a tour of the New Valley Queen Cheese Expansion Project. A Larimore, North Dakota teenager has his sights on a debt-free college plan. Russell McLean is taking part in a program sponsored by Caterpillar that will put him right to work in a good job when he's done.
I've always really been interested in heavy equipment.
Russell McLean has always liked cats, the big yellow kind with big engines, that is. So when he learned about Caterpillar Machinery's Think Big program at a state FFA career fair, he decided to apply.
And then I took a few tests, got an interview, And then later, or 2 days later, he called me and said, you're in for fall of 24. So
The program is designed to train diesel service technicians for dealerships, including Butler Machinery in Fargo.
it's technically 2 years of schooling. So the first semester of each year, I'll be in Wahpeton in class, and then the second semester, I'll be in the Butler shop.
After he graduates, McLean will owe Butler 3 years of work. After that, he can decide whether to stay on or go somewhere else. Butler partners with diesel programs at the North Dakota State College of Science in Wahpeton and Lake Area Technical College in Watertown, South Dakota. Butler's training and development manager, Mike Sandin, says the company sees the importance of encouraging young people to enter the diesel industry.
It truly is a grow-your-own program where somebody can not only get exposure to the diesel tech industry and gain that experience and education, but also gain the familiarity of working in the diesel industry right from day one.
Butler also has a program called Butler Max, which focuses on students who want to work on AGCO equipment. McLean says he's excited about a career working with big cats. This summer, he's getting a start with a work-study program at the Grand Forks Butler dealership before his program officially starts next year.
I'm not even in the program yet, and I love it, so.
John Deere dealerships such as Leading Edge Equipment, which has stores in North Dakota towns including Michigan, Carrington, and Devils Lake, is a partner with NDSCS for the John Deere 2-year Tech Associate of Applied Science degree program.
Coming up, we'll take a look at the impact of a dry season on the cereals crop in western Grand Forks County, North Dakota.
Network, learn, and grow at Minnesota Farm Fest, August 1st through the 3rd. Visit with over 400 exhibitors and learn about the latest ag technology. Meet up with friends in the networking lounge for some live entertainment. Learn from ag industry leaders at the Farm Fest forums as they discuss the latest hot topics. Or catch live farm equipment demonstrations. Find out what you need to grow your family farm at Farm Fest, August 1st through 3rd in Redwood County. For tickets, visit farmfest.com. Network, learn, and grow at Farm Fest.
It was October 1st, 2009. We needed some machinery for the farm. We decided to see if we could become a dealer, and that's kind of grown into what it's been today.
We offer basically anything short line. Seed tenders, fertilizer spreaders, sprayers. We can really set ourselves apart by the knowledge we have in those things, by the amount of units we have on hand at all times.
I just have a passion for helping people, getting to know people. It just becomes a lot of fun.
The Crary Revolution Ditcher is the new standard for surface water management. The Revolution Ditcher leaves a smooth finished 5-foot flat bottom cut and cuts up to 10 inches in one pass. Throw dirt in either direction, up to 165 feet. Now with the hydraulic cross auger to break up dirt and keep you working faster. Check out the Revolution Ditcher at crary.com.
Are you struggling with saline soil conditions? Is your soil structure deteriorating and affecting your crop's productivity? Introducing Calcine, the enriched acidifying agent designed to control and manage saline soil conditions. Calcine stops the deterioration of soil structure by moving salt out of the affected soil through leaching or carrying salts through the soil and away from the roots. By reducing salt buildup, Calcine improves aeration, infiltration, percolation, and drainage, ensuring your soil remains healthy and productive. Don't just take our word for it. Producers throughout the upper Midwest have already joined in and witnessed the incredible results of Calcine. Contact Erickson Custom Operations today to learn more about Calcine and how it can transform your soil health. Calcine, revitalizing your soil, maximizing your crops.
The AgWeek Cereals Crop Tour is sponsored by Bremer Bank, LCS, Ag Spray Equipment, the National Wheat Foundation, and AKE Safety Equipment.
Our AgWeek Cereals Crop Tour continues this week. Katie Pinky takes a closer look at the cereals crop in western Grand Forks County.
Joining me now is Lucas Moen. He's the agronomy manager with the Northwood, North Dakota Equity Elevator, and we're in western Grand Forks County. We're here on the AgWeek Cereals Crop Tour. Share a little bit about what you're seeing this year in the cereals in this area of western Grand Forks County, and first of all, just with the planting.
Yeah, it's been a pretty wide variety of planting this spring. I guess we were in somewhat early, kind of the second week of May, and then we were planting wheat all the way to the end of May. And so we're seeing a lot of diversity with stands and with how the crop went in and what stages we're at right now. And it's been just kind of interesting to see everything else that's happened around here with the wheat crop.
Share with us a little bit. Grand Forks County has been abnormally dry on the U.S. Drought Monitor. What are you seeing the impact on the cereals crop?
Yes, it has been really dry. We've been losing a lot of tillers. It was really dry in early June, mid-June when we were trying to put on tillers and trying to get to our end of our heading stage. And so we've caught some timely rains toward the end of that, but we're definitely seeing a wide range in the crops of some that caught the rain and some that didn't.
And what are you seeing as far as disease pressure and weeds, insects? What's happening there?
The disease pressure was actually really low this year. I felt I didn't see much of anything. I think with the dryness, we lost out on a lot of that. So we were pretty good on there. Not a lot of scab issues or rust issues. Insects, there's a little bit at heading, and so we just took care of that with our post-fungicide applications, and we didn't have any issues that I've noticed.
And then as far as harvest coming up, it's a little bit later maybe of a harvest for some of the cereals crop in the area. What are you seeing as far as harvest coming up and yield?
I would say that harvest is going to be very spread out. We're going to see a lot of harvest coming, maybe even the first 2 weeks of August, and we'll probably be combining quite a bit of wheat in September, so it's going to be spread out quite a ways. And yield's going to be very, very all over the board. I mean, we're going to see some stuff that'll probably be average to above average, and we'll see some that might be a little bit below that. Just depends on when it went in, when it was, where it was at as far as when that dry spell came through and when we caught rains. So that'll be a big part when it comes to yield.
All right, Lucas Moen joining me on the AgWeek Crop Tour.
We travel now across the Red River to Crookston in northwest Minnesota, where the summer has been hit or miss with rain. University of Minnesota small grain specialist Joachim Wiersma says while some places are very dry, others have had adequate rains, and the yields will reflect that. Hot weather in the early growing season meant a short crop in some fields, but July has seen some cool overnight temperatures, which wheat and other small grains thrive on.
And in some areas it has just enough water where the crop looks really, really good. And I think there are going to be some pleasant surprises in there, in those areas. But you don't have to go very far, and in some cases literally only a couple of miles, and you can see severe drought stress where that crop literally is not past your calves and very open, where it lost its tillers, and we're going to see disappointments.
Wiersma says grasshoppers were the most common problem this season. The cereal leaf beetle was confirmed in few fields in northwest Minnesota in June. It was last found in southeast Minnesota in 2010, although he says the insects and larvae are not particularly damaging this year. Ahead on AgweekTV, some South Dakota kids learn about life on the farm while having fun.
For home delivery of AgWeek, log on to agweek.com or call 800-811-2580.
Get a jump on next season's crop. Before you put your planter away after the planting season, bring it to the experts at Titan Machinery for a full inspection. Titan Machinery service technicians have the experience and training to inspect your Case IH planter and get it in optimal condition for next season. Get a head start on next season and get the peace of mind that your planter is ready when you store it for the winter. Contact the planter experts at your local Titan Machinery Case IH dealership today.
Getting down to business on the farm means hitting the office early, making sure your team's ready to go, getting updates from the field, and talking with your management team. At Bremer Bank, we understand the business of farming and how to protect and grow your operation so you can be sure your present and your future are in good hands.
There's no easy button, no guarantees, or promises of a good year. This is farming. It's unpredictable and demanding, with long days and sometimes stressful nights. It's weathering the storms and coming out successful. Farming isn't for everyone. We thank those who make it their life, because it is for everyone.
Meet the new varieties from the wheat geeks who brought you Yield Monsters LCS Trigger and LCS Cannon. Take your yield to new heights with LCS Ascent. LCS Dual packs a 1-2 punch of yield and protein. Speed to harvest first with LCS Boom. LCS Hammer AX is the first coaxium spring wheat available to farmers. Let's talk about this year's harvest and how to make your next one a real bin buster. Visit limagraincerealseeds.com.
Since the inception of Vatterstadt, the spirit of innovation has led the company. We push the limits, providing innovative and reliable seeding and tillage solutions that simplify everyday life for farmers. We continue to reimagine the capabilities and technology behind farm machinery, providing customers with a perfect emergence while maximizing their yields. We look forward to growing together.
AgWeek weather is sponsored by Bremer Bank. Connect with a banker today at bremer.com.
What will the weather look like as the region rounds out the month of July? Here's John with our AgriWeather Outlook.
Late July and the early part of August, often about the hottest time of the year, particularly in dry years, because if it's a little bit drier than average, that soil has a chance to heat up. And we are looking at some hot weather as we move into the first couple of weeks of August. The central part of the country, northern plains down through the western part of the corn bean belt, it has continuously been drier than average throughout this growing season. And these are the areas that are going to continue to see some hot temperatures showing up from time to time, and if anything, the drought situation will gradually get a little bit worse, but you may also see a few spotty, timely rains. And that is what they will be. Middle part of the country, rains as they typically are this time of the year, quite spotty, fairly disorganized. I'll show you where the rains will be more organized. But for the time being, hot weather, or at least warm weather, 80s, 90s, maybe a stray spot up near 100. South of the jet stream, there is some cool weather in the eastern Maritimes, but most of North America, including the western part of Canada, going to be setting up for a lot of warm temperatures this week, and a lot of this across the south is in the 90s and 100s. Texas is just pegged in the hundreds, and that's not going to change very much. As two branches of the northern jet stream move down toward the northern plains and across the northern Great Lakes, you will see at least the hot weather drop south. Still going to be fairly warm this coming week with a lot of weather in the 80s in North Dakota and Minnesota, but the real hot weather, the 90s and the 100s, those will be shunted south. But it will stay searingly hot across the southern states, and there are some signs of some 90s and 100s spreading up into western Canada toward the weekend, but that will likely quickly retreat. Looks like the jet stream will remain pretty far north through next week, which is typical for this time of year, but with the dry soils, we are going to see some pretty hot temperatures. At times, 90s, even a few spots up near 100 at times, especially over the western Corn Belt, which has been, as I mentioned, a little bit drier than average. About those spotty rains, that's about all you're going to see from North Dakota down through Texas and over much of the Corn Belt. It's the eastern seaboard, which has been getting the plentiful rains this year. That will continue. And as typically happens in late summer, the southwest monsoon will begin to kick in, and that'll bring scattered thunderstorms over some of the southern Rockies. Few of that may spill out into the central plains, but it won't likely make it very far except as spotty storms. The second week in the forecast, which is basically the second week of August, still going to provide rain along the eastern seaboard, only spotty rains in the middle, and the weather along the west coast will continue to be dry. Warmer than average and drier than average is the general outlook for the northern plains and most of the western bean belt for the time being.
Tanks, sprayers, nurse trailers, fertilizer equipment, and parts. That's just some of what we do at Ag Spray Equipment and have done for over 50 years. We take pride in being the industry leader in liquid handling equipment, and we encourage you to reach out to your local Ag Spray Equipment location in Fargo to see our complete lineup of offerings. We stand behind our products because we stand for you, the farmer. Ag Spray Equipment, north of Fargo on I-29, exit 69, or online at agspray.com.
Hamilton System Inc. in Drayton, North Dakota is the North American distributor of the Fantini corn and sunflower header. Both the L03 corn head and the G03 sunflower head have a simple, high-efficiency, low-maintenance PTO-driven gearbox, which eliminates slippage and power loss even in the most trying conditions. These heads are built with a solid one-piece frame and tubular steel construction that will withstand the harshest field conditions. Available in models from 4 to 18 rows, they adapt to any combine and come with a 4-year warranty on the transmission units.
As we approach the end of the 2022 crop year, it's time to assess which decisions were good and which ones were not. Producers will go through cropping practices and evaluate their performance and make their adjustments the following year. Do you do the same with your risk management strategy? Did your crop insurance levels give you the coverage and protection you needed for the year? Were you able to respond to the market opportunities when they became available? If your risk management approach needs a little attention, the professionals at Martinson Ag can help you. We give you straightforward analysis that helps you make the best decisions for your operation.
Since the inception of Vaderstad, the spirit of innovation has led the company. We push the limits, providing innovative and reliable seeding and tillage solutions that simplify everyday life for farmers. We continue to reimagine the capabilities and technology behind farm machinery, providing customers with the perfect emergence while maximizing their yields. We look forward to growing together.
There's no easy button, no guarantees, or promises of a good year. This is farming. It's unpredictable and demanding, with long days and sometimes stressful nights. It's weathering the storms and coming out successful. Farming isn't for everyone. We thank those who make it their life, because it is for everyone.
It's summer camp season, and nearly 100 kids ages 9 through 12 from across South Dakota were able to enjoy some fun in the sun while learning about agriculture at the first ever Farmers Union Junior State Camp near Huron.
Camp songs, arts and crafts, and hands-on lessons about seed germination are just some of the fun things happening at the Farmers Union Junior State Camp. For 11-year-old ranch kid Chord Blotsky, attending camp gave him a look at some of the things he hasn't learned about ag from his own ranching operation.
It's learned because I did not know anything about the monocots and dicots, and I've done a little bit of the germination. I've tried it at my house by myself. I did not know what I was doing, though. Here I was getting taught it.
Normally, this camp took place as a district event, but this year they were able to bring kids from the entire state together for one big camp.
We've seen a really, really good response. Parents were willing to send their children for 3 days halfway across the state. But we also have seen, they're very excited to see what we're doing with their kids and what we can educate them on.
Even if the students grew up on a farm, it's still important to provide them with ag education opportunities.
We need to make sure that they're being educated on what they're eating. Sometimes the myths out there are pretty insane, and sometimes they seem almost realistic. And if you don't know the truth behind it, sometimes it's very hard to figure out what to believe in. So we're over here just trying to make sure that our word is heard.
For the kids attending, it's a great place to make friends who share the same passion for the ag industry.
It's very fun to see people who are like me and get to know people that are new.
And the campers encourage other kids to come next year.
I tell them it's very fun and you can do a lot of things here, learn things, and meet new friends.
If you are interested in enrolling your kids in next year's state junior camp, you can contact the South Dakota Farmers Union. Up next on AgweekTV, cattle get the royal treatment at the North Dakota State Fair.
Meet the new varieties from the Wheat Geeks, who brought you Yield Monsters LCS Trigger and LCS Cannon. Take your yield to new heights with LCS Ascent. LCS Dual packs a 1-2 punch of yield and protein. Speed to harvest first with LCS Boom. LCS Hammer AX is the first coaxium spring wheat available to farmers. Let's talk about this year's harvest and how to make your next one a real bin buster. Visit LimaGrainCerealSeeds.com.
Come out to Dakota Fest, August 15th through the 17th in Mitchell, South Dakota. Connect with over 400 exhibitors specialized in row crop and livestock farming. Connect with other ag producers as you attend education sessions and live equipment and cattle shoot demonstrations. Connect with friends, family, and neighbors in the networking lounge with live music and refreshments. Dakota Fest, growing connections in ag. August 15th through the 17th. For more information and discounted tickets, visit dakotafest.com.
Some things in life are hard. That's why banking shouldn't be. Cornerstone Bank.
I'm Peter Bosch. I've been working with Gateway Building Systems for a little over 20 years now. I chose Gateway Building Systems to build my shop because I wanted a building that could both be used for my equipment and as a place for my family to hang out and do things. I would advise anybody that's thinking about working with Gateway to go in and talk to the guys there, tell them your plans and your future dreams, and let them design something for you.
Getting down to business on the farm means hitting the office early, making sure your team's ready to go, getting updates from the field, and talking with your management team. At Brimmer Bank, we understand the business of farming and how to protect and grow your operation, so you can be sure your present and your future are in good hands.
At times, the expo building at the North Dakota State Fair looked more like a hair salon. Groomers were busy with blow dryers, clippers, and hairspray, getting ready to show off their cattle. The 10th annual State Fair fitting contest transformed the small East Arena into a bovine beauty parlor. Even members of the 9 teams coordinated their outfits for the event. Contestant co-chair Riley Marthaler says each team has 2 members between 13 and 21 and 1 younger than 13. They had 30 minutes to get their animal ready for a mini showmanship contest. She says the point of fitting livestock is to put them in the best light for a judge.
Fitting can be very, very important. I mean, there's a lot of animals that have a lot of hair, there's a lot of animals that don't have a lot of hair, but you can really change an animal drastically with a good fit job. The judges will notice. I've heard, plenty of judges comment on presentation, and it does help get you to the top for sure.
The fitting contest was far from the only activity in the livestock barns. Throughout the week, open shows, 4-H, and FFA shows featured animals big and small. Stories you'll only see on AgWeek.com and in AgWeek magazine this week. A farm-to-table event looks to bring together producers and consumers near Grand Forks. And we meet a 13-year-old tractor mechanic in southeastern Minnesota. We appreciate you watching AgWeek TV. Remember to check us out daily on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, and TikTok to keep up on all your ag news. Have a wonderful week, everyone.